Are we live? Yes, we are live. And the mic is working, the camera is there, everything is good. And I think I've posted a tweet, so let's just wait and see what happens. Get a bit more central so that you can see me and I can see the screen. Usual setup, camera there, second screen there, so the chat screen is on this screen to my, well, this side of the camera. So hopefully, yep, the tweet has gone through, so hopefully people will join me. I've grown accustomed to this beard. I'm getting quite to like it, to be honest with you. Yes. He says, looking at his phone. Well, we're only 2 minutes into the chat, so let's see what happens. Just check, make sure I am shown as live streaming on YouTube. Yes. So share, copy link. Hashtag YouTube. Hashtag live. My channel. Here is my channel link to join me. It's sad, really, isn't it, folks? I'm here talking to myself and there's no one in the chat, but you know, we crack on, we carry on. Quiet tonight, isn't it? I haven't seen it this quiet for a while. I mean, we've only been going, what? I've only been going nearly, 5 minutes now, so it's still early. We'll just see who joins us, really. Not going to worry too much. I'm up to 1,250 on Instagram. That's good. Always good. Oh, someone's responded to the chat group for Lord and War and Heartache Chapter 9. Always a pleasure. What's going on Instagram? We persevere. Cheers. Not the most exciting live stream. I mean, this is recording, so I'm not going to end it. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. This could end up being the most pointless live stream in the history of YouTube. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's been here, though. I'll carry on talking. I will carry on talking because it's no different to doing a vlog, really. The big difference is I'm live. So, you know, it just... Hi, Laurie. Welcome. Welcome, indeed. Yes, the first one. Thank you. Yes. Feel a bit silly. I've been sort of here chatting to myself, really. You can hear me, by the way, can't you? I hope you can. I've got my microphone turned up. I can certainly hear me. I'm doing well, thank you. Yeah, I'm doing very well, in fact. Yeah, been busy with my projects and things, so it's you know, keeping me busy with my writing and everything. Recording. Recorded a video for Thank you. Yes, perfect. Wonderful. I always worry about this. I mean, the Blue Yeti is quite sensitive, but it's a brilliant piece of kit. I love it. I love it. Best thing I bought in recent years for my computer. But yeah, keeping busy. Yeah, filmed my first item with my green screen today, so hopefully Animal Crossing. Yes, I haven't actually played it today. I did play it quite a bit yesterday. So I may have to message you about that, because I know you said you'd be able to help me with that. I'm trying to work out how to spend the air miles. I don't think I've collected enough, though. That's the thing. I don't think I've collected enough air miles. So I've still got to try and practice with the fishing rod, using the net to catch insects, things like that. I caught my first dung beetle yesterday. I've never caught a dung beetle before. It was rolling up a snowball, in fact. So that was quite entertaining. So that's something else new for Tom Nook, which I was quite pleased about. So yeah, it's a good game, I think. Oh, brilliant! Yes, yeah. I'll try and work mine out. I have got a code. I just need to figure out how to find it. So when I do, I will make that available to people with Switches, so that they can join me and visit my island. So it's not very big. There's only me, a lion, who I think is referred to as a jock. He's very sporty. There's a kangaroo who's very friendly, and then obviously it is very relaxing, actually. I probably play it more now than I do Pokemon. I have got Pokemon Sword on the Switch, but I think for a bit of escapism I do prefer Animal Crossing, because I think it's just so calming. Well, it is literally ASMR in a game. That's the thing. It is just, you know, it just has that vibe to it that you just want to break away from the world and play it for a few hours, which I did. So But I got a few air miles for outdoor decorating. I put the inflatable sofa up outside with the water cooler, a couple of campfires. What else did I put out? The wooden stakes, the decorative plant, and the custom. Well, it wasn't the custom. It was one of the sweaters that you can do in the customization box. I need to learn how to create customized patterns for that, but I'm sure that will come with time and practice. So that's something I really want, really look forward to getting into. I will be playing it more often. It is. I mean, I love The Sims, for example, Sims 4, and I used to play that a lot. I had to take Steam off my laptop though, because it kept crashing. I do intend to reinstall it, but with the amount of stuff I'm recording now, obviously I've got an archive. I need the space really, so it's finding a balance. But I mean, I've got the PlayStation, so I can always get Sims 4 on the PlayStation, so it's not a biggie. It's like I've got Fallout 4 and Skyrim on the PlayStation, so I don't really need them on the PC, I should say. Which is why I love the Switch, obviously, because obviously it has games that you can only play on there, like Animal Crossing, and because I sort of started out playing. The closest I ever got to it originally was Stardew Valley. That was the one I really started out with playing on Steam. And obviously, as soon as I got my Switch, I decided to go with Animal Crossing, so that I could sort of join in with the community, as it were. So, it made perfect sense. It's a perfect game, really. It's perfect on so many levels. I don't think they could improve it any more than it is. I know they do have update. I have played Overwatch. I do have Overwatch. I'm only level 25. I've had it since I bought it. I got it for Christmas. I bought it with Christmas. Hi, Gwyn. Thank you for joining. Yeah, in answer to your question, though, Laurie, I do play Overwatch. Not very often, though. I'm quite behind a lot of the hardcore players. I'm only something like about level 25, 26. I don't play it as often as I ought to. I'm also a bit of a camper. You see, when I play, I tend to either play as Bastion. Oh, PlayStation 4. PlayStation. I don't think my laptop is really up to spec for Overwatch on the PC. It probably is. It's quite an old. I mean, it's not an old laptop, but it's certainly slowing down now. It's getting to the point where if I have too much running, it does crash, which is a bit of a nuisance. It's why I had to take Steam off. Excuse me. Backs. Oh dear. It's why I had to take Steam off my laptop in order to keep things running. Really, it's just. I think I need to defrag my laptop to get technical, to use technical terms. I think once I've done that, I think that will clear things up and it should run a bit faster. So I'll probably do that overnight. Yeah, I've got a classic Xbox, Laurie. Any question you want, Gwyn. Any question you like. It's anything goes this time round. This week, anything goes. just going to do a quick retweet. So, yeah, you know, video games, hobbies, interests, anything like that. You know, it doesn't have to be my projects. I have spoken about my projects in detail in the last couple of weeks, so I think it'd be nice. Well, you know, I'm happy to talk about them. I know well, this is it. This is it. I think you're absolutely right there, Gwyn. It is up to date. It is up to date. It actually had its most recent update Monday just gone, in fact, which annoyed me because I was halfway through writing a script. So it no worries, Laurie. Enjoy your game. Have a good one. So yeah, and you enjoy your game. Yeah, thanks for coming. Much appreciated. Thank you. So yeah, just lowering the gain a little bit so it doesn't pick up any sounds in the background too much. Well, video gaming for one. Lego. I do like Lego. I'm a railway modeller. I do build model trains. What else? I paint model soldiers. Sci-fi model soldiers. I used to play tabletop wargaming, so that's where the model soldiers come in. But I kind of I mean, the hobby for that is super ridiculously expensive. I mean, for a unit of 10 soldiers, you're looking at about £45 now for a box of plastic models that you have to build and paint. It's so ridiculously expensive, and that's why I'm recycling the models I've already got. You know, if I've got them, I might as well repaint them and just buy the rule books. So it makes perfect sense. But yeah, model making, painting, Lego building. You can't see it here, but behind the screens, I have got, I think I counted. Hi, Julie. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining. Do I sing or play any instruments? I don't play any instruments. I used to be in the school choir. I kind of do sing when, shall we say, I've had a few. I'm not drinking. This is cola tonight. This is just supermarket own brand cola. I have been known to do karaoke when drunk, which is strangely a lot of fun, because when I've had a few, I'm fortunate in that my friends describe me as the fun drunk. You know, the one that is the life and soul of the party. But I got a standing ovation for my rendition of "That's Life" by Frank Sinatra in a local pub in my hometown a few years back. So it sort of become a bit of a party piece. But I do have to have a few drinks inside of me before I can even crack a note. To be honest with you, Gwyn, you're not missing much. I had my first hangover at 30. Oh, you're not missing anything, to be honest. Oh, it is. It's a huge ton of fun. It's amazing fun. Um, excuse me, just that's better. This chair's very uncomfortable tonight. Oh yeah, definitely Dutch courage. Definitely Dutch courage. Has to be a couple of gin and tonics. Definitely gin and tonics. Although I don't drink as often as I used to. I mean, I've really cut back on my alcohol intake. And not just because of COVID. I actually started cutting back on alcohol back in 2019. I think. Yeah, I'm 36, so you know it's definitely my best mate, who's a lot younger than me. I keep telling him when he hits 30, he is going to suffer from hangovers. You know, he's a good bloke. He's a very good bloke. But yeah, so I try to avoid the hangovers now by not actually drinking if I can help it. Ah, hi game devs. Hi, welcome, welcome, welcome. What's my favourite poison of choice? Oh, I like a wee drum. I like a wee drum. I like whiskey. Um, whiskey, vodka, gin, basically. I'm a real ale drinker as well. I do like craft ales. I'm not exactly. I'm not a heavy drinker. I drink socially, but I don't drink at home. My parents don't drink. You know, we really don't drink on health grounds. Um, I drink on social grounds. You know, with friends, which is rare, and it has been incredibly rare in the last 12 months, obviously. So, you know, we are talking about having a. Oh, it is. It is. I'm particularly fond of. I went to Yorkshire in 2019 for 2 weeks. Excuse me. Beg pardon. I went to Yorkshire for 2 weeks back in July 2019 and visited the city of York. Well, they have a company there called York Gin, and it is. Oh, it's wonderful stuff. I bought their strongest gin, which was called Outlaw, that's 54%. Then I bought one called Cocoa, which basically has a chocolate flavour to it. And the one I haven't opened yet is their Roman fruits, because obviously York was a Roman city founded by the Romans. No, not Verulamium, that was St Albans. I can always find that out later anyway. But yeah, York Gin, I highly recommend. I do follow them on Twitter, and they have retweeted a couple of my tweets when I've complimented their. I only bought small taster bottles, so there's not a lot. I've got through two of them, but I enjoy whiskey. I bought a really nice one back in 2000. I visited Edinburgh in 2009 with my parents and an aunt and uncle, and we visited around Easter time. And whilst we were there, I purchased a miniature of whiskey about that big, but it cost me £25 because it was 21-year-old vintage whiskey, and I drank it for my birthday, and it was the smoothest, most delicious drop of whiskey I've ever had. And the problem is, to this day, I can't remember the name. I can't remember the name of the... Oh, welcome, Spraymai. Welcome, welcome. It is. As I said, neither of my parents drink, but I went there and did their tasting demonstration and fell in love with it. It's a really lovely gin, York gin, and I love York anyway. I love the city of York. It's a beautiful city. The Shambles, the Minster, you know, the Railway Museum. Obviously, as a railway enthusiast, the Railway Museum is like a, how shall I put it, a temple of railway love. You know, it is. So that's my biggest excuse for going to York. But yeah, I mean, I've visited Edinburgh once. I visited Cardiff once. I did the Doctor Who exhibition at Cardiff before it shut. That was around, I think that was 2018. I went to, because we stayed, me and my parents, we stayed in Bristol, or near Bristol, in a place called Stanton Drew. And yeah, I mean, Bristol, another fantastic city. Absolutely love it. I don't think there's many places I've been to in Britain that I didn't like. You know, I think I've been to more places in Britain than I've ever been to in the world. And I've only ever... Yes, it was. Jorvik. They've got a fantastic visitor attraction there called the Jorvik Centre, or the Jorvik Experience. And you go on these, it's like a ride to begin with, and it takes you through reconstructed scenes of Viking York, and you get all the smells, the sounds, the sights. You know, they've really done well. And we went to, when you get off the end, there's obviously like a museum with all the artifacts. And the day we visited, because what were we doing that day? Oh, that was in 2013. We did Jorvik. We didn't do it in 2019. We went in 2013 to see all 6 LNER A4 steam locomotives. It was the first time they'd been together. They were the 6 surviving. And that day afterwards, we did the Jorvik Viking Centre. And... Oh, yeah. And when we did it, there was sort of like exhibitors there, sort of talking about Viking life. And I absolutely made this bloke's day by asking him about berserkers. I saw he was talking about Viking weapons, and I thought about the question very carefully, and I said, is it true that the Vikings really had a group of warriors known as berserkers? And his face just lit up, and he told everyone, oh, you need to visit York. You do need to visit York. You know, if you get the opportunity, when travel lifts, York is a lovely city. You know, I recommend most. There isn't really anywhere I've been to in Britain that I wouldn't recommend. When we stayed up in Yorkshire, we stayed about 30 minutes drive out of Whitby. The town we stayed close to was a little town called Pickering. And Whitby, my mum likes Dracula. She likes the story of Dracula. And she's always wanted to visit Whitby because that's where in the story he lands. And he's cited as a huge black dog in Whitby Abbey. And Whitby Abbey is an amazing historical property. It's run by English Heritage. So we get in for free because we're members. And it's well worth a visit. And we went there. We actually visited the site about 4 times. Yes, I agree with that, Spray. I absolutely agree with that. There's a lot of amazing venues there. I mean, I'm not exactly a nightclub person. I don't really like nightclubs, but I love live music, and I'm happy to find a bar with live music for a few hours and sit there with a drink in my hand listening. Regardless of what the genre. I know there is one bar that does Viking metal, and I would love to be in that bar. Oh yeah, she has. She has. My dad's zombies. My dad's into zombies. My mum's into sort of Dracula, and me, I'm sort of, well, I'm pretty much dragons myself. So anything that involves dragons, um, which is what I think I'm sort of into, staying with Britain, but moving away from York, sort of more into Welsh um, uh, myths and legends, because the dragon obviously is very um, significant of Wales, considering it's on their flag. So it's we all have our own sort of favourite sci-fi fantasy sort of creatures, and we sort of build from there, really. Um, but yeah, I mean, obviously, the one place that will always be in my heart is London. I do miss, since the lockdown started back in March 2020, I've absolutely missed going to London. Um, I love the museums there. I mean, I'm not I'm not exactly a sports person. My idea of a good Saturday is a museum, or yes, Cymru. Yes, actually, I'm going to attempt this. This is probably going to make me sound really silly, but I did once visit, when I went. I stayed in Wales. I stayed in Snowdonia around 20. I think that was 2016. Or was that Bristol? No, I think that was Wales. And we went to. We actually went to the Isle. It's got Beaumaris Castle on it. I can never remember the name of the island. Anglesey. And I actually got the opportunity to visit Llanfair Pwllgwyn Gillgogodob un Lantysilio. I apologise if anyone speaks Welsh. I probably decimated the language. I absolutely apologise. I love Wales. I love the Welsh language. I think it's amazing. I love everything about Wales there is to see and do. And I promise I will never try and pronounce that name ever again, out of respect. So, that's better. You can see me now. I'm sort of partially silhouetted. Well, that is true. Better than most could have done. Yes, I guess. I've always wanted to visit that place because. Sorry, I'm just going to fiddle with the light again. There we go. That's better. Because it's actually the longest railway station name in Britain, and I wanted to get a photograph of it. I do have it somewhere on my laptop. I can always share. I always like sharing photos from past holidays online, so I'm happy to post that up on Twitter. So I will, because that's another thing I enjoy, photography. I love photography. I have been told by a few friends that I have a natural eye for it. I don't know. I just find a picture. I mean, I will stand in one place for an hour if I have to, just to get one photo, or a photo of a single object, especially if there are people there. I will quite happily I was fortunate because I visited a place called the Wealden Downland Open Air Museum last summer when they sort of lifted the lockdown here in Britain. It's in West Sussex and it's full of historical buildings that have been rescued from building sites. Excuse me. Cheers. Anyway, and I was fortunate because it was so quiet. I could just. I felt like I had the whole run of the place, and my camera. um. Twi buffle metin no, sorry, I'm not going to try that one. Thank you for sharing that, but that is not a name I'm going to even attempt to try because I will make myself. I know that I'm going to make myself look a complete fool, and I don't want to upset anyone, including yourself, from where you are. So, I think it's best left. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Best photographer going. I agree with that. Um, because if there's one thing I love going into Tate Modern, and my favourite rooms are the ones that contain photography. I think they're some of the best art installations they actually have in Tate Modern, um, because I think it captures a snap. You know, it is a literal capture, a snapshot of life, and I don't know why, but I'm drawn to photography that was taken in the 1970s. Now, don't ask me why. I just am. It's curious. I think it was because it was such a interesting time period. Interesting decade. In fact, so much really happened. There was so much change in the 70s, and I would love to try and one day perhaps try and recreate. If I could, get friends involved. Not that I would expect them to, because it's. I just have these. We'll put it this way: I have these sort of weird and wonderful ideas that I never really follow up. I mean, I never really thought I would even do live stream on YouTube. So anything is possible now. Anything is possible. It's. Thank you, game devs. Thank you. Yes. Um. So I'm working through. It's. What was I saying? Oh, well, I was talking about photography, wasn't I? Yeah, because I use the Canon. I do. It's AFOL underscore 1984. That is my actual. There is a link to it in my YouTube header. There is a link to it in my YouTube header. So if people go to my channel and go to the About tab, if they go on their mobile phone to my channel and look at the About tab, there is a link to my Instagram in the description of my channel. So they can actually go and look at all my photos on online on Instagram. I do also have AFOL 9 underscore 1984 underscore cosplay. That one, although I am active on it for photography, that's a little bit more dormant because obviously I haven't done any cosplay in the last. Well, sadly, there's been no Comic Cons over the last year, so I've really missed that. I really want to get back into Comic Con again when it starts back up and running. But at the moment, all the convention centres are being used as what's known as Nightingale hospitals to support the NHS during the pandemic. Yes, please do. Please do look up my work. There's quite a few There's quite a few photos on there. It's I can quickly just give you an idea of how many there are, because I've been working on it since 2015. So there are, at the moment, on my there are 4,087 posts on my Instagram. Some of them aren't photos I've taken. Some of them are just sort of memes and little things I've shared over the years. So it's not all photographs, but it's my creativity in action. So because I don't really, I guess I should, but I don't really broadcast my channel on Instagram. Yeah, that many posts, 4,087. Yep, I'm quite active on Instagram. But as I say, that's going back 6 years this month. I've been on there since January 2015. One of my first posts, I think, was Christmas presents I got for Christmas just gone in 2014. Yeah, well, if you are on Instagram, do give me a look. I'm always, I did have it set to private at one time because I was having a bit of trouble with another Instagrammer, and I had to put it to private until it was all sorted. That's a story for another day. I'm not going into that because that was too long and complicated to discuss here and now. But let's just say they were potentially controlling and manipulative, shall we say? So best left unsaid for this live stream. That's all I will say. But yeah, I've got holiday photos, day trips, visits to National Trust properties and gardens. Where else have I been to that my camera's gone with me? Leeds Castle in Kent, Hever Castle in Kent. Obviously, that's the county I live in, Kent. A lot of model making photos as well. There's a lot of Lego photos on there as well. Some of the recent Lego photos I shared on Twitter actually have appeared on Instagram, so you'll definitely recognise them when you see them on my feed. But it's. Hi Kiki, thank you for joining. Just to get you up to speed, basically talking about my interests, hobbies, things like that. I'm taking questions, so if you have any general questions, and don't be afraid to ask them. I'm happy to answer them again, even if they've already been answered. So, it's no. Well, that's the thing, Gwyn. I'm not sure about that because a lot more of my relatives use. I'm really self-conscious about sharing. See, I don't have any of my relatives on Twitter and none on YouTube. I'm quite self-conscious about sharing stuff. It does mention my channel name in my profile of Instagram. I suppose it would help to drum up potential more collaboration, cast members for the series. But I'm just very self-conscious about it. I don't know how people will react. It's something I've never really spoken about. I do get nervous if anyone even mentions ASMR in conversation, which has hardly happened here. As I say, my sister kind of made a throwaway remark at Christmas, but I guess at the end of the day, I mean, this is me anyway. This is something I enjoy doing, so I'm going to carry on regardless what people might say. But you know, if it drums up more interest in people collaborating with me in my project, then you know, what have I got to lose, really? I don't know. I probably will make a few announcements for perhaps chapter 7 onwards. I haven't done anything prior to chapter. Well, there's title cards. 2 of the Ondarian title card and the Desert Realm title card are on one post, so they're together. Yeah, well, I think a lot of people don't understand it, because it's been around for so long. I mean, there's a lot of very well established people that do it on YouTube, for example. So it's sort of mainstream, and it's sort of not mainstream, if you know what I mean. It's no longer niche. It's whereas my style I always consider to be niche, because of as you know, the first recording ever came over to you today for the upcoming Cleo and Trajan collaboration. You've heard it here first, ladies and gents. There is a new Cleo and Trajan collaboration coming up between me and Gwyn. It's a follow-up to the previous one on my channel, so I hope you enjoy it when it comes through. But on that one, it's the first one I've ever done paper tearing on, so well, that's just an opinion, you know. That don't bow to opinions. At the end of the day, you're like me, you're a storyteller. That's what it is. If you just say you're a storyteller, then I think that's what matters most. Well, this is it, game devs. You know, I think there is a lot of. I think it's because a lot of people. I think I'm going to try and say this quietly, but I think a lot of people sexualize it. That's the problem. They think of it as you know, something, you know, sensual, or you know. I'm trying to think of how to be tactful without being. Yeah, but you get my drift. You understand what I mean, of course. But I think there's a lot of people who have hijacked it, and moved it away from. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that have hijacked it and moved it away from what its original purpose is. I'm never going to name names because I'm not that sort of person, you know. If it's not hurting anyone else, that's fine. But at the end of the day, I just think people really need to think about what they're doing, you know. Because there's so many amazing people in the community who put in so much effort, so much. Exactly. It's like, for me, I personally don't like ear licking videos, but I will never, ever sort of shut them down or anything, because I know there are people out there who like that sort of thing. It's just not for me, so I choose not to watch. Simple as that. You know, I think. I mean, I've seen so many TV shows where it's mocked for what it is. People just laugh at it, and that kind of does hurt. That does hurt, because deep down, I know in the past it saved me from myself. I went through some real dark times, and you know, the whole phenomenon that I'm now part of actually helped me through some of my darkest times. And yeah, it is a stigma, you know, people, until the big problem I fear is it going completely mainstream. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm happy for it to go mainstream, but there's got to be, I think there has to be a balance, because, excuse me, I think there has to be a balance for everybody involved, because I think, I mean, when you get the real big, what I refer to as the big guns, which would be like GB, Frivy, possibly Shani, all, you know, who else? They are the faces of the community. They are the most well known of the community. I mean, there are many others. I mean, Glow, for example, she's truly amazing, and these are the, because of the size of their followings. There are so many other more that have big followings, and you know, they've got the balance right. I think I'm, how many am I subscribed to? 1,995 on my list according to YouTube. Hence why it won't let me subscribe to any more at the moment, in comparison to how many I have subscribed to. But that's a different story though. I'm not going to start on that again. If you've seen my Twitter feed, you know what I'm like on Twitter, and I apologise. I get passionate about it. Maria, yes. And Accidentally Graceful is another one. Yes, Maria is probably one of the very first I ever saw. I think, I mean, I've been watching since the very beginning in 2009, and you know, I remember her very first video, so I've literally seen her channel grow and develop from day one. That's you know how much it's changed. Oh, Jim, yeah, can't go wrong with Jim. He's one of my inspirations. He obviously started before me. Him, Evil Rob, obviously. Fred's voice. Who else? Ephemeral Rift. Oh, I got that right this time round. Ephemeral Rift. Satisfactory Dad. Used to be one that I really used to love watching. Growling Whispers. He hasn't been active for a long time, but he did a fantasy series very early on, and his voices are probably some of the biggest inspirations for what I do. You know, he was all about sound effects and atmospheres and storytelling, and I sort of latched onto that idea. Hence why I do what I do now. Oh, it's been absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, yeah. I, yes, and Atlas definitely, definitely. Um, who I can reveal is going to be doing a voice for Chapter 11. Yes, he contacted me about doing, and Evil Rob is interested in doing a voice for Chapter 11. It's going to be quite a long chapter, but I mean, if I could get Jim on board for even one chapter, I think that would be amazing. Oh, you have to go for Jim Cheese. You have to go see Jim Cheese channel. Yeah, yeah. Go and see Jim Cheese channel. I always used to think it was a 5, but it's the Chinese symbol for chi. I believe that's what it is. And I obviously I wouldn't, if I would be happy if he created his own character. To be honest with you, I think I would give him absolute free. And to be honest with you, I do give the option for everyone to have free reign in my project. So, see, that's the thing. I get really nervous about contacting people. That's the thing. And I know the worst thing is they can say no, or I'm really busy at the moment. I just get so nervous because these are really popular people, and I consider myself a small channel with with a small following. It's I consider myself very niche. I think that's why I don't, because I don't really appear on camera. For live streams I do, but mine is mine is my voice. This is my tool. I don't really use my hands or sort of thing. I don't do that. I just did, but that was only a demonstration for this. Really, and it just makes me nervous because the concept I have is, I don't want to say unique, because there isn't really anything unique about my concept. I think I know I've spoken about this before, but I have had that list of people I'd love to work with on my channel, and I guess now it's got to the point where I really should reveal who I'd love to work with. Yeah, I didn't really want to reveal it, but I guess if it makes it a little bit easier for me to say who I'd love to work with, it would ease my mind really to tell you. So I guess that's what I'm going to do. So for me, it would be my dream sort of. I've already worked with Sage, a Whisperwind, so that's ticked off. Obviously, you, Julie, Sleeping Artist. Who else? Kata is in chapter 7. Who else have I worked with? Black Cat Aura, yep. Rayna's amazing. Yoloma, Crystal, the 3 mushrooms, and they're fantastic, obviously, as you know. They did really well with chapter 5. No, I mean it. Who else have I got on the list? Everyone that's worked on who's worked with me on my project so far has been superb. I have no complaints whatsoever. Genuinely mean that. I have to give a special shout out to Gwyn, of course, because obviously she's worked with me a lot on the new, what I'm now calling, I was calling them filler chapters, but I'm now calling them side story chapters. And what we're doing is we're introducing new characters for the future, for the main chapters. So, you know, she, Cleo, T, definitely T. She's amazing. To have her on board in chapter 7. I've already seen her video. She sent it to me, and it is fantastic. She's really, really good. She actually approached me about the role, and you know, I was nervous about the character, but we worked on it together, and we've done it with the utmost respect, and you know, sort of care and attention that the character deserves, basically. And I'm really pleased and proud of what we've come up with. It works beautifully, so I can't wait for people to see that. And it's done in such a dignified manner as well. We don't any sort of misconstrue. Oh, thank you, Gwyn. Thank you. But yeah, some of the other names I'd love to work with are Crinkle Lovin', Shani, Amy Kay. Oh, Irma, she's fantastic. If you haven't seen Irma La Dolce's channel, please, please, please go and see her channel. Oh, it's going to get funnier. It's going to get funnier, Julie. It's going to get hilarious. This latest script is absolutely I was laughing as I was writing it, to be honest with you. The character I play in it is a complete idiot. So he's really. So I'm just gonna say he's really gonna try Cleo's patience. It's gonna be a lot of fun to listen to. Yeah, but you know, other people on the list are Amy Kay, Shani, Crinkle Lovin'. Who else? Who have I forgotten? If she did collaborate, it would have to be ASMR Glow as well. Visual Sounds 1 or Visual Sounds. Who else? Ooh, it's amazing. You make the list and you forget. You forget. You make the list and then suddenly you forget who's on it. I mean, obviously, Rob's taken an interest, so I've sent him the details for a character. Who else? Who else would I? Oh, well, yeah, Jim. He's on my list. If I really could, and I was able to approach, if I really had the courage to approach her, I would ask GB as well. If I really could approach, it really had the courage to approach her through communication, I would. I'd love to get. Really, I'd love to get as many people that I follow or am subscribed to. It's an open invite. Everyone is invited to join me in the project, regardless of. Even if it's helping me to. Yes, he would. If you've heard, my Trigon, there's another Trigon video coming up. It is a terrible. I apologise to anyone from Scotland. It's a terrible Scottish accent, but it's actually based on a video game, on a character from a video game. So, it's very, excuse me, fictionalized, that version. But you know, any roles available. I'm always creating new characters. You know, I've got a spreadsheet for split into the 4 sort of segments I'm doing, because I'm doing the Ondarian realm, the Desert realm. Then I've got the Dream Realm mini-series. Yeah, she's involved in, Jessie is involved in chapter 11. She's actually playing a dwarf, not an elven descendant character. I can't remember the name now, but yeah, she is playing a character in chapter 11, from the Forest realm, which is the elf defense. The last. Rob, welcome. Yes. Just so you know, just to catch up, it's an open question and answer session. We are talking about my project at the moment, but I'm talking about people who I'd love to collaborate with at the moment. You know, who my sort of dream sort of collaborations would be. I've finally decided to reveal the list of ASM artists I'd love to work with. So it's, yeah, so I would like to ask her back after seeing her Elven video the other day. I would love to have her on board for the Forest realm, because once we finished in the Desert realm, which will be after the Dream realm, because the Dream realm is basically 4 chapters, 15, 16, 17, 18. Well, technically it starts with 14. I'm in talks with, well, potentially, I need to contact them again, but I'm hoping that I can get back on board for that one, Black Cat Aura and Raina, official Raina Tamarin. So that's who I'd like to get back on board for chapter 14. 15, 13, which is known as the last stop, I've got a couple of people involved with that so far. One person who isn't actually an ASM artist, they're a voice actor. I thought it might be interesting to have a different actual style, but they're a YouTube voice actor, so I've accepted their interest. And it's just calling up the list actually. So but it's yes, and also is it Liam Tippy Tappy, something like that. Sorry, that was my sleep phones. Oh yeah, Savvy Nien is returning from my sci-fi series. Who is it in the? Oh yeah, Jessie is playing Lady Estrella, Governess Royal of the city of Varuna, which is the capital city of the Forest realm. Yeah, and I've got someone called Heliquin is voicing Shaman Moonshadow for chapter 13, but I've still got 5 characters left for that one. Then I've got 7 characters for the Forest Realm, and 4 characters so far blank for the Dream Realm as well. Yeah, she was great in chapter 8 of the Destructor Saga, which is now dormant. She's got an amazing voice. She is absolutely superb voice actor and ASM artist. So I'm really glad to have her back on board. Who else have I got? I've got what else have I got? I've got Atlas, who's playing Duke Octavius of Cordavia. Lumi Umi is playing Persephone. I'm obviously playing Geoffrey of Trigon, who is quite a... I think that's who it is, Gwyn. I think that is who it is. Yeah, see, she's... Yeah, Julie, she is another one that I'd love to have on board. She has a superb voice. And who else? Julieta, I think she's Mexican. I think Julieta. Yeah, this is it because that's the thing though. I have never come across. There has never been one ASM artist I've come across that I didn't like. I have never disliked. In all my years of watching it, I have never disliked a single video. It's never happened, and I don't think it's ever going to happen. Yes, she is. She does follow me on Twitter, so but of course I do put out casting calls, as you know. So hopefully these live streams can also. This is the. Oh, and of course, how can I forget giving the marvellous Evil Robber mention to you, good sir, for taking interest in Duke Heinrich, Governor General of Port Nightsong. I ought to write up. I've sent you the notes, I know that, but obviously I haven't written a script, so I really need to sort of do a guidance script, which I can do and get sent over to you, just to give you some something to work with. That's not an issue. I apologise for that. That's my mistake. I think Gwyn. Some people just. I don't think it's nastiness, but I don't think it's. I agree. I don't think it's. The irony is, it actually helps the algorithms. A dislike helps the algorithms as much as a like. That's what I find, or what I've discovered. I've had a couple of dislikes on my videos, and I'll tell you something. The first time it ever happened to me, I was actually quite pleased, because it's like a badge. It is like a badge of honour. Your first dislike, kind of, to me, means you've made it. You know, it sounds weird to say it, but you know, I actually got quite excited over getting a dislike. That was the thing. That was the strange thing. And yeah, I mean, I know I go on about it a lot on Twitter, but it's the community tab I really want. I really want to be able to just put out messages across you know, with the little thumbs up, thumbs down, people can respond, that sort of thing. What, you've got a community tab or a question? Sorry. Oh, you mean you got a dislike? Is that what you mean, Kiki? Um, um, yeah, exactly, Rob. No, no, I wasn't. I wasn't when I got one. You know, I was thrilled when I got my first like, but I was even more excited when I got my first dislike because I thought, at last, you know, it's the badge of honor. You know, it's. I think I actually screenshot it and posted it up to Twitter. I think it is somewhere on my feed. Um, Ironically, it made me really happy. It was so strange, but in a good way. Um, but personally, I never dislike a video. And I always try and leave a comment if I can think of one. Um, I always do try and leave a comment if I can. And as a personal rule, anyone who leaves a comment on my videos, no matter how long it takes, I will always respond. I will always post a respond. I know there was a video where I didn't respond to a comment for about 5 months, unfortunately, but I did eventually. And the person who posted it was really good about it, and understood, because we can't keep up with everything. You know. Ooh, just turning down the gain a bit, getting background noise. There we go. Oh, I think Kiki, I think you're amazing. You carry on doing what you're doing. You're doing fantastic. I love your channel. I really do. I think you make some create. You are fantastic as a content creator. So keep being you. Keep working on it, and you know, you've got us. You've got us in the community. We've got your back. That's what I love about this community. Everyone has everyone's back. We look out for each other. It's one of the, I think, out of all the YouTube communities, I'll give you a prime example. I am a Doctor Who fan, and in the Doctor Who, thank you, that's sweet, thank you. Um, I'm a Doctor Who fan, and I love the whole thing of Doctor Who from 1963 up to today. I love every single Doctor. I think they're brilliant. But there is a part of the fandom in that is incredibly toxic, and the sad thing is, because of it, I don't feel I can interact with some of that fandom. Whereas in our community, I have never once become a, yes, I grant you, and I'm not going to name names, and I'm not going into details, because obviously it's personal matters between. I have seen drama, I have seen debates. I wouldn't call them arguments, I would call them debates. I have seen people called out for things that have been said, but I've never ever once seen any toxicity in our community. That is the beautiful thing about it. Even if people disagree, I think this is what I like about this community. It's one of the most intelligent, forward-thinking communities on YouTube. I think everyone in the community has a purpose, regardless of what style they do, whether it's like me or Gwyn, you know, storytelling. Exactly, exactly. You know, this is it, and everything I say when I say it does come from the heart. That it sounds cheesy and mushy, and I don't normally do mush or whatever you want to call it, but that is true. That is true, Rob. That is very true. Um, there was. I will be honest with you here. There was one person I had to block, but it was because they went against my principles. If you look at the top of my Twitter feed, pinned to that are my personal principles, which I stand by, um, because I consider myself 100% inclusive in everything I do. I don't care who you are, how you were born, what you believe, as long as people treat each other with love, respect, peace, hope, you know, things like that, we're cool. I'm happy with that, you know. See, see, seeing that Game Devs has just subscribed, we it brings us together. That's the thing about this community. It does bring people together, and I love that. That's what I love about this community. It really has opened my eyes to the world. You know, I think if I didn't have YouTube and Twitter and things like that, yes, I've got my hobbies, my model making, my Lego, um, my photography, things like that. But um, I think this has really stretched my mind to the limit. Not that imagination has any limit. Excuse me. And you know, this is the longest I've ever made a drink last. That must be. Call the Guinness Book of Records. That's the longest he's ever made a drink last. I'm sorry. I just made myself laugh. Oh, oh, I apologize. Oh, dear, oh dear. Oh, oh, oh dear. Oh, it's the simple things in life. Oh, I'm good. I'm good. You're not the first person to say that. You are not the first person to say that. I just have this way of cracking myself up. It's just, you know, I just think of something and I start laughing, and oh yeah, it's good for the heart, it's good for the soul, it's good for the mind. If you can, as a character on Blackadder 3 once said, if you can't laugh, what can you do? You know, I think I think in this day and age, we need laughter more than anything. And yeah, so I mean, as I say, I was sort of part of the community as AFOL 1984, which is my vlog channel. That is, there's a link at the top of my profile for that. That's dormant though. I haven't done a vlog. Technically, these are the vlogs now. These are going to be the vlogs, so they're going to be incorporated into my current channel. What I might do is probably transfer those blogs. I think I've still got them. I have still got them. but transfer them over. Yeah, you've got to in this day and age. At the moment, it's been such a tough 12 months. I think you've got to keep a sense of humour. It really helps to get you through the day. So it's alleviate. I believe the word is alleviating. It really does help. But yeah, I am thinking about sort of shutting down my vlog channel and moving them over to this channel so that I can sort of concentrate on this one. I do run another channel for my local model railway club. Well, technically not for the club. It's a channel I run on behalf of the model railway layout I should be building, but currently COVID-19 has put the stops on that, and at the moment the club is, due to circumstances beyond our control, is currently homeless, so no work on the layout is being done at the moment. Welcome, Light of Heart. Welcome indeed. I'm glad you could join me. I'll give you a quick update. This is basically just a general chat, but I'm also taking questions and answers. So if you have any questions you'd like to ask, I should be looking at the camera there. The camera's there. The chat screen's there. So it's because I've got two screens. I've actually got it's actually a TV screen. I think it's something like a 22-inch, but I can see it better than my laptop screen. So and I'll let you into a little secret. This time round, I actually remembered to clean the webcam lens, because if you see my previous two live screens, there's a little blur just around here. Excuse my finger. Ooh, boop, boop. Sorry. I'm not going to start again. Dear oh dear. What did I put in this? It's only Coca-Cola, or supermarket own brand Coca-Cola. It's not genuine stuff. If it was, I'd be bouncing off the walls. Well, thank you very much, Kiki. Thank you for joining me. And obviously I'm on Twitter as well, so I'm always around. If you ever feel the need to chat or anything, I always say it on Twitter. People can DM me, just for chats or things like that. If you want to vent or something like that, I keep it all confidential. But yes, thank you for joining. Oh, do they still make Roller Cola? Do they still make that? I used to. Oh dear, Roller Cola. Let's make Roller Cola cubes. That was Peter. No worries, Kiki. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, it reminds me of one of my favourite Peter Kay sequences. Let's make Roller Cola cubes. That's the best I can do for a Bolton accent. I actually have a relative through marriage from Bolton, so no, not Bolton, Bury. Yes, yeah. Love is. I actually had the good fortune to see him live at the O2 It was the Tour That Wouldn't Tour, and I think that's its full title. But yeah, it was one of the funniest. I've been fortunate to see. Who else did I see at the O2 many years? Lee Evans was the other one I saw at the O2 many years ago. Um, but yeah, um, never been, never been there. But I know through word of mouth it's a nice place to visit. Um, I I've been further north because I when I went to Cumbria in 2017, we did visit Blackpool. We did do a day in Blackpool. We did Blackpool Zoo because my sister doesn't really come on holiday with us because she doesn't live with us anymore. She lives in her own place and she travels when she can. I think I think she's off to. I think she's got plans in the future to go to Greece, but obviously not this year. Um, that's it, Rob. The tour that doesn't tour on tour, and yeah. But as I say, we visited Blackpool Zoo, which I loved, which we loved. Loved the dinosaurs. When you walk in and do I'm a big kid at heart. If somewhere's got dinosaurs, I'm 36. Let's face it, I'm 36 and I still love animatronic dinosaurs. I'm just a big kid at heart. I mean, you know, I collect Lego minifigures. I collect Doctor Who figurines. I'm just a kid trapped in a adult's body, really, in a way. You know, it's it. You know, but you got to have a hobby. But yeah, I mean, we didn't get into the tower. We went underneath the tower. We didn't go up to the top because we didn't have time, and we were a bit disappointed because you can't actually photograph inside the ballroom, so we kind of didn't go in. But we did visit the arcades underneath, and then we went and had a walk on the sort of celebrity carpet. I think that's what they call it, with all the names. It is just a number. It is just a number. You know, the old what was it? The old Clark's shoe shop advert. Act your shoe size, not your age. Well, if that's the case, I'm a size 13. So you know. Oh, just seen your comment, Gwyn. Yes. Oh, what's her name? Mrs. Braithwaite. Jessie does. I have to say, her northern accent is actually getting better. I think. I think she's. I think we. I really think we do need to see more of Mrs. Braithwaite and Reg. I think, and obviously have Jim involved more. Um, I would certainly love to see more of more videos featuring all three characters because I think it's just so funny. I love the characters, and the fact she's got memes about her as well. Yes, yes. Just make sure. Just one request, Rob. Just make sure you double her order of Cocoa Pops just to annoy what's his name? I can't remember the name that Jim plays, but I think that would be so funny. um, you know, because I really think it's going. I really think the whole story is going somewhere. I think all three of you would definitely be able to have a lot of fun with ideas for that series. Um, and I certainly would love to see more. I think it's an amazing concept. It's so original. Well, I think she's learned from the best, to be honest with you. I think definitely. Um, so But yeah, I huge respect to every channel I'm subscribed to, really. And as I say, I'm subscribed to nearly 2,000 channels. No wonder they won't let me subscribe to any more. But yes, wrapped up the rock. That was brilliant. Yes. Oh, poor Ben. No. Well, he did. Did he start the rivalry? That's the question. Yeah. See, this is what I love about these live streams. It's interactive, and I don't just have to talk to you about me. I can talk about anything, and things that I love in the community, things that keep keep me interested. And I mean, as I say, it was absolute genius. I think that was one of the funniest ideas featured in the series. Yeah, definitely. That the Christmas one also was fantastic. I think. Oh no, that was the Christmas one, wasn't it? Yes, it was. Yeah, that actually reminds me. That reminds me of a joke that I know, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. I'd have to memorize it again. It involves alcohol in a teacup, so um, we'll try. Maybe if I can remember the joke in the future, I'll share it with you. Um, I think it was a Dave Allen joke. If anyone's familiar with the late Irish comedian Dave Allen, but yes, drunk. I've never done drunk calling myself. I've managed to avoid that in reality, but that was a brilliant sequence. Absolutely brilliant. Um, Oh yeah, definitely light. You need to check out Rob and Jess's channels. Please do. They're both fantastic ASM artists. But yeah, it's based on something that Jim Chi started. Mrs. Braithwaite and Ben are rival bed and breakfast um, managers, for want of a better term. Or they both run rival bed and breakfast. Um, I do have a Twitch account. Um, at the moment, I'm only streaming on YouTube because more people who follow me on Twitter are on YouTube rather than Twitch. I will branch out eventually. Um, for the time being, um, I am using YouTube as my primary platform for live streaming because there's more people on here that potentially follow me on Twitter who, as I say, use YouTube rather than Twitch. Uh, but that's not to say. What I'd like to do is once I eventually go over to Twitch, I'd like to simulcast, so I'm on Twitch and YouTube at the same time. That's the plan eventually. Um, there's a few things I've got planned in the future for. There's a couple of old scripts that I've found that I would love to do live streams of old scripts that I wrote, and in comparison to what I write today, I consider these original scripts to be absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. Uh, I mean, I don't believe my stuff is the greatest. I just write what comes into my head and then send it out, for other people to use. And I'm big on improvisation, ad-libbing, rewriting, things like that. So I'm kind of, I think I would say I'm probably better at writing now because I haven't got so many ideas sort of crammed into one place. I've sort of broadened my ideas enough that I can write without any sort of mental block, as it were. So it's getting there. I feel I'm getting better with story writing, sort of bit by bit, but it's I mean, I've always had a broad imagination, even since a child. I was always playing in my bedroom with my Lego, creating sort of different sort of, and they all the characters had names, even if on the sets they had different names. It's where it all stems from, really. My childhood. I was always creating weird and wonderful worlds and things like that. And I think out of all of it, I do prefer writing fantasy to sci-fi, to be honest with you. My sci-fi series is dormant because I really don't know what direction I want to take it in. Whereas what I'm writing at the moment has so much potential to go in whatever direction I want to take it. Fantasy, as far as I'm concerned, has no basic set of rules. Oh, bear with me. My yes, I shall use that tonight. My sleep phones have charged, so that's good. I'll be able to use that tonight. Yeah, sleep phones, as recommended to me by Jodie Marie, who incidentally is another one. That's someone else I'd absolutely love to have on board for my series. I've done one collaboration with her for her channel. I think I'm kind of doing another one that she's involved in. I'm not going to talk about that too much. But yeah, I'm involved in another project that she's involved in with the Mushroom Theatre. Yes, yeah. I mean, I'd love to have her on board as a character. The thing is, I never actually say who I think they should. I always let people choose who they want to be. If they see a name or a title or a character, I let them choose. If they say, "Can you suggest one for me?" I will go through their channel, look at their style, and then say who I think, which character that I've created I feel fits that style. But I will never ever force anyone to take a character, ever, because I think that's wrong. I think that's absolutely wrong. Yeah, I'll tell you something, Rob. I was absolutely delighted with their involvement in Chapter 5. Absolutely delighted. It was a very difficult concept to pull off, but we did it. All four of us. It's one of the best. Thank you for joining me, game devs. Absolutely, thank you. Yes, do Yes, we do need to. I need to write a script for that as well. Yes, I will get a script written um, and ready. So I'm thinking of having that as something like around chapter 21 or something like that. Something like that. So so you've got time to develop it. But if I get the script written, then we can work out the finer details in due course. So yeah, take care, and I'll speak with you soon in that regards. Thanks very much. Um, but yeah, going back to the Mushroom Theatre, as they call themselves, three of the most hard-working content creators you could ever want to meet. I mean, everyone that I've worked with has worked really hard, and I know that everyone that I'm working with works really hard on their own channels. So I have never had any issues whatsoever with anything that's been sent to me. I've loved it all, and I don't think I've had a single complaint to give to anyone. It's been really lovely. I mean, it's amazing how everyone has actually come on board without knowing anything about my vision and actually meeting my vision. That's the beauty of it. I think that's the thing. I don't know if it's because I'm really descriptive in how I write it, or if it's because of the notes I give everyone. Um, I don't know who the fourth one is though. That's if that's the thing. I don't know who the fourth one is. I know that Yoloma, Crystal, and Raina are the three, but I don't know who the fourth is. I know they work mate a lot with Jodie, Jessie, and I guess Jessie could be the fourth because she has worked with them a lot, and potentially, I suppose, in a way, Jodie Marie would be the fifth, if anything. I don't want to say. I don't want to think too much into that because obviously, um, it's that's their work, not mine. So, I'm not going to make any comment on that. That's their little group. So, well, yeah, that's what I thought, Rob. I'm in agreement with you and Gwyn. Well, she does do a lot of collabs with them. That is the thing. If you saw their sort of take on Christmas Carol, it was quite. It was quite. Sorry, I'm gonna have to quieten down a bit because I think my dad's just gone to bed, so I'm gonna have to quieten down a little bit. I've turned up the gain. Charming, absolutely charming. So yeah. Yeah, that is what we're talking about, Julie. We're all thinking she might be one of the mushrooms as well. Um, but as I say, that's something for them to confirm or not, because obviously it's not my. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Family's more important. Family's much more important. I don't have kids, so I don't. I don't have that experience, so don't worry about it. Yeah, yeah. So, and I would consider Jodie Marie to be the fifth one if if she's considered by them to be the fifth one. Well, thank you for joining, Gwyn. It's been lovely having you here to chat with. Thank you for coming along. No, because I just recently saw the Little Mermaid. I haven't posted comment on it yet, but I saw the Little Mermaid one that went live yesterday, and I thought that was beautifully done. Beautifully done. Yes, good night, Gwyn. Sleep well. Don't overdo it, and obviously send me the items for Cleo and Trajan when you're ready. No rush. But all the best for the moment. And I'm always online if you need me, so give me a shout. Good night, yes. But, so... Yeah. And as I say, I was absolutely thrilled to work with the three of them. And I'm thrilled to be working with Jessie as part of... Yes, I forgot about that. That's fantastic as well. That was one of the first, wasn't it? One of their first sort of movie style adaptations. I thought that was brilliant. I'm looking forward to Maleficent when they do it. When it's I believe there's going to be an update at some point this week. So that's all I know. I know nothing else. But I've heard through the grapevine. Yeah, I thought you were great as the seagull. Scuttle, isn't it? The seagull, I think. I should know. As I say, I haven't sort of commented on it yet. I kind of got distracted throughout watching it because obviously other things crop up. But I'm going to give it another look. Be Brave, Be You is superb as well. She's she's a wonderful person. I mean, I don't really know her that well. I have commented on her tweets and shared her milestones and everything, but again, she's another one I've never really approached for projects. I think yes, I am. I'm definitely looking forward to it. So yeah, she's another one I'd love to have on board, and possibly Evoke as well. Evoke ASMR. She's another one I'd love to work with. Whether or not she'd actually sort of participate in a fantasy realm, I don't know. It's not for everybody. I understand that, and worst case scenario is they say no. That's it. I'm not going to force anyone to join me. It's an open invite, absolute open invite. Yes, she does. I think she's really amazing. Yeah, as I say, there are two others I'd love to work with on my project. And as I say, it's an open invite. Whenever I don't approach. I don't like to approach people. Who else is there? Creative Calm and Scottish Murmurs too. But whether or not, again, they'd want to get involved with something like my project is Well, I guess not. I guess not. But I just get nervous. I do get nervous about approaching people because I feel it makes me sound desperate, and I'm not desperate. Well, I'm not saying I'm desperate, but it's trying to be tactful without sounding desperate, I think. Um, but again, as I said, Creative Calm and Scottish Murmurs are two more. Uh, Whispers Audio and Whispers Red as well. It's all they're all on the list, but whether or not they'd say yes or show an I'd be thrilled if they did say yes, absolutely thrilled. But it's having the courage to do it, really, because they're so well established, and I'm just a small channel with a big dream, as it were. It's I think in a way what I am doing is quite ambitious, really, for what I'm doing. Um, it's not often you literally start off. I mean, if it's worked for Sage, Whisperwind, and it will, I hope, work for me as well in the long run. It's slow and steady wins the race. I mean, I just build, and I'm just waiting for it to build up and become. Yeah, I mean, I remember when they first started out. I actually do remember when they both started out before they even met each other, and I knew from day one that they were going to be popular with the community, um, and they're two of the most well-established people in the community now. A lot of respect for them, a lot of respect. Thank you, Julie. I appreciate that. Um, I'm always thinking up new ideas and new characters. I haven't actually listed any recently. I do need to. Truly a pleasure to meet you as well, Light. I believe I'm subscribed. If not, I will come along and subscribe to your channel. I will um, do so. I apologise if I'm not. I will double check that though. Thank you. Um, but thank you for joining, and have a pleasant evening or whatever time of day it is where you are. Um, so, yeah, I'm really sort of. I'm always looking to the future. I am always looking to the future. Um, as you know, or as you may or may not know, I've got a steampunk chapter coming up called The Nightmare Machine. It's set in the dream realm, which I know that uh, you're interested in it, Julie. I know you're interested. I'd like to get Sage. I'd love to get Sage on board for that one, either as sort of in style of Isabella, or well, have a very good day. Thank you for joining. Have a very good day. Um, yeah, it's just gone 10 o'clock here in the evening, so yeah, 22:01. So enjoy your day. But yeah, I'd love to get Sage on board for the steampunk chapter, in sort of an Isabella style character, for it. The premise of that one is basically everyone's afraid of the machine, but it's not a machine that actually produces nightmares. It converts nightmares. That's the premise of it. It converts nightmares into positive dreams. So it's called the Nightmare Machine, but it doesn't actually create nightmares. So it gets a lot of bad press. So in chapter 15 and 16, people will warn the viewer, the traveller, away from the factory because they fear it. They think it's dangerous, when in reality it's not. That's the whole idea behind it. So there'll obviously be like a foreman, a dream designer, or a dream weaver. Well, a dream designer, a dream weaver, a dream mechanic. I've really got to try and work out the full list, but I will make them available on all the characters available on Twitter. But that one will be steampunk. Excuse me. Like a class 37, I'm clagging up. There we go. Yeah, I'm always creating, always thinking, always writing. Building upon ideas and developing them. I love that aspect, actually, coming up with the ideas and developing them. Obviously, once I hand them over to cast members, I do give 100% character development over to them. I have no involvement. They can talk to me and discuss their ideas. Well, again, Julie, as you know, I have had no. Yeah, I thought you'd like that one, Rob. Class 37. I have very little involvement once I send the script over and the character notes. It's all down to the cast, the respective cast member, rather than me developing for them, because they know themselves better than I do. They know their style. They know what they want to create. So I sort of just go with it. I write the story, and that's it, really. As I say, if people want to discuss with me their ideas, and no one needs my permission to do anything with. They have free reign over the characters, over the script, over the costumes. If they're doing a video, or how the character sounds, it makes no difference to me. All I want is people to enjoy themselves. That's it. That's all I want. That, and obviously a video or an audio segment to obviously put into the main video. But apart from that, I take a back seat once I've done my bit. The only times I sort of get involved is when they're my own characters. So like Rafik, Daedalus, Geoffrey of Trigon, the Overseer of Trigon, Maximilian, commander of the governor's troops, and the mysterious stranger in the dream realm. That's basically it. Because that's how I like to work. That is exactly how I like to work. So anyway, I think, considering the length of time we've been going, I think, considering it's gone 10 o'clock, I'm gonna wrap it up there. But thank you very much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. I'm going to try and do these more often, little updates and things like that. And I think I will leave. I think I will continue with the general questions and answers as well, because I think that is a lot of fun to just sort of move the conversation along a little bit. So I think on that note, we shall wrap up, and I will speak to you all again next time. Thank you so very much for joining me. I've really enjoyed it. So, well, oh yes, and obviously, don't forget, for people watching this back on my channel, I am on Twitter, so look me up, AFOASMR. The link is in my channel description, and in the header. So anyway, this is Matt, AFOASMR, signing off, and end.